the topic for tonight's video is choose your friends wisely. Our text is taken from the book of 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 16 to 28. The topic for tonight's video is choose your friends wisely. The text is taken from the book of 1 Kings chapter 3, verses 16 to 28. I read, Then came there two women that were harlots unto the king and stood before him. And the one woman said, O my Lord, I and this woman dwell in one house, and I was delivered of a child with her in the house. And it came to pass the third day after I was delivered, that this woman was delivered also, and we were together. And there was no stranger with us in the house, save the two in the house. And this woman's child died in the night, because she overlaid it. And she arose at midnight, and took my son beside me, while thy handmaid slept, and laid it in her bosom, and laid her dead child in my bosom. And when I rose in the morning to give my child suck, behold, it was dead. But when I had considered it in the morning, behold, it was not my son, which I did bear. And the other woman said, No, but the living is my son, and the dead is thy son. And this said, No, but the dead is thy son, and the living is my son. Thus they spake before the king. Then said the king, the one said, This is my son that liveth, and my son is the dead. And the other saith, Nay, but thy son is the dead, and my son is the living. And the king said, Bring me a sword. And they brought a sword before the king. And the king said, Divide the living child in two, and give half to the one and half to the other. Then spake the woman whose living child was unto the king, for her bowels yearned upon her son. And she said, O Lord, give her the living child, and in no wise slay it. But the other said, Let it neither be mine or thine, but divide it. Then the king answered and said, Give her the living child, in no wise slay it. She is the mother thereof. And all Israel had the judgment with the king had judged, and they fear the king, for they saw that the wisdom of God was in him to do judgments. May the Lord bless the reading of his words. Amen. Amen. Brethren, the story we've read tonight, this morning, is the story of two friends. I call them friends because of certain things we're going to look at. Who is a friend? The term friend refers to someone you know very well and regard with affection and loyalty. Somebody you can trust and rely on. Somebody you have formed bond with. You have mutual support for each other and intimacy. It can also be described, a friend can be referred to as an associate, a supporter, an ally. You see, somebody that you have come to know very well is who we call a friend. So if you don't know somebody very well, you can't call that person a friend. This is a story of two friends because of what the woman said during her presentation. During the case presentation, because this story is in three parts: case presentation, defense, and judgments. So two women came before the king. And when people go before the king, most times it's for dispute resolution. It's like, can be likened to going to court. When things need to be resolved, when people cannot resolve matters between themselves, they take it to the king, just in the olden days, just like we take it to the court today. Even in some places, they still take cases to the king. So these two women, we know they're friends because, one, they're living together and they're well-known harlots. So they're professional colleagues, they're friends. Who is an harlot? An harlot is a woman who has casual sex encounters and relationships with different men. It's okay to refer to them as prostitutes. You can rather use the term sex workers. So they're harlots. They're not married, they have different relationships with men. And when you look at the case presentation of the woman that spoke first, from her presentation, she made it clear that they don't have their housemates, which is a sign that they don't have the financial strength to live independently. So they're managing resources. That is why they live together. So they're not financially buoyant. They're financially constrained. So not having a baby crib further confirms their financial status, even though at that time, I doubt if there was infant bed or baby cribs, because it is in the 19th century that such features came up. But then it was mostly women's parents sleeping with their babies, So from what she said, she established that they have relationship because they're housemates and there are just two of them in the flat. So you cannot live with somebody you don't have a relationship with. I'm just establishing the fact that they're friends. Apart from being professional colleagues, they're friends. Just two of them living in the house. And as you can see, both of them are fruitful. They both got pregnant. One had a baby 3 days ahead of the other. One thing I want you to take note of from the way this woman presented her case, what people say reveals a lot about their state of mind. From the way the woman that made her case presentation, the way she presented her case, the first alert, it is obvious that she was aggrieved, but she wanted justice, and her grievance showed in the way she repeatedly referred to her friend as this woman. The first time she said this woman and I dwell in one house. The second time she referred to her as this woman, she said this woman was delivered also and we were together. The third time she used the word this woman's child died in the night. She kept on saying this woman. So the friendship has gone sour. She's really bitter and angry, but she contained it. She was presenting her case to the king. I want to tell you something. The way you know the kind of friend you want to make is listening to them. When you listen to people, you will know their state of mind. In this case, this woman is making presentation of her case, but she wouldn't have been in this situation if she has listened well to her friend at the beginning. Yes, they're both adults, but I can assure you that one got into it circumstantially, because this woman speaking sounds like a decent woman. Probably situation of life, vicissitudes of life pushed her into adultery. But from the way she talked, from the way she presented her case, you will know that she's a sound mind. And the word this woman she used repeatedly is a sign that she was not happy with her friend. When people talk to you, especially the so-called friend, listen very well. The word they use repeatedly will tell you what is on their mind. It will reveal their state of mind. When you know the state of mind of people, please don't brush it aside. It is for you to decide either you want to be their friend or not. When somebody keeps repeating bitterness story to you, know that is a bitter person. Run away. Never be friends with a bitter person. When anything that keeps recurring in your conversation with people tells you who they are. I hope you understand what I'm trying to communicate.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, he kept on using the word this woman. She's like, my friend it's like crying that my friend disappointed me. So for her at this time, she was hot, but she could manage her temper because she wanted justice.